New this morning, a Louisville man will face a judge today in connection to a shooting in the Park Hill neighborhood that took the life of a teenager. Police arrested 20-year-old Damari Walls Medlock and charged him with murder and assault for the death of 16-year-old Sam Kamara. Police say Kamara and another victim were shot on June 8th near the intersection of Dixie Highway and West Hill Streets. Walls Medlock is due in court at 9 o'clock this morning. Our top story this morning, 2 former Metro police officers accused of falsifying the warrant that led to the death of Breonna Taylor are no longer facing some of their most severe charges.
A judge is instead putting the blame on Taylor's boyfriend and his decision to fire at police. WHAS11's Taylor Woods talked with a legal expert and activist about the judge's decision.
March 13, 2020, Breonna Taylor was shot and killed in her apartment by LMPD during a botched raid. Now another major ruling in favor of 2 former LMPD officers involved in getting the warrant to raid her apartment.
Heartbreaking, anger, rage. However, not surprised.
Federal Judge Charles Simpson dismissed 2 of the most serious felony charges against former officers Joshua Janes and Kyle Meany. The 2 are accused of falsifying the search warrant that led to the deadly raid of Taylor's apartment. Sam Marcuson, law professor at Brandeis School of Law, says it's up to a judge to decide if any charges that won't hold up legally.
In other words, that the elements of the crime simply are not met but even by the allegations of the charge.
In this case, Judge Simpson ruled that the falsified warrant was not the cause of Breonna Taylor's death. That charge carried a sentence of life in prison. It's heartbreaking for Antonio Taylor, who was a community activist involved in 2020 protests.
Just confused about how could that happen to somebody's daughter, somebody's cousin, to be murdered in that way by the people who get paid to protect us.
Judge Simpson, in his ruling, saying boyfriend Kenneth Walker's decision to open fire at police as they came through the door is the legal cause of Taylor's death.
What he said next, though, was that violation, even if it were proved, did not cause her death or the use of the weapons.
This ruling isn't the decision Antonio Taylor wanted to hear, but he's still holding out hope for justice. In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 on your side.
Janes and Meany will still be tried in federal court on other existing charges regarding the warrant. Meany's attorney says they're happy with the court's ruling.
Right now, Metro Police are looking for a man who they say dropped off a baby at the Humana Waterside building downtown. According to police, Humana security officials told officers around noon yesterday the man on your screen walked in, sat the baby down, then walked out. The child was taken to a local hospital to be checked out, and police say that child is okay. As of now, they don't know the relationship between the man and the baby, but if you have any information about the case, you're urged to call 911 or that anonymous tip line, 574 LMPD.
As part of its new safety plan for the Highlands, LMPD says it'll add more patrols to the area. It comes after recent shootings around several late-night businesses on Baxter Avenue. Since the department is still experiencing an officer shortage, the patrols are being covered by officers working overtime or extra shifts. LMPD says the added patrols will help make officers more visible to the community.
We encourage our officers to interact with the community, receive information from them, and as well as the community interacting with our officers. We want that positive interaction. So we've had that so people can see our officers, they can see our vehicles on the road.
Other new safety measures include patrolling for nuisance offenses like open containers and installing surveillance cameras. There's also a partnership between city leaders, alcoholic beverage control, and LMPD.
A Kentucky state representative has a chance to keep her seat after initially being disqualified from re-election. Democrat Nima Kulkarni represents House District 40, which covers South Louisville. After months of back and forth, Kulkarni's disqualification case landed in the hands of the Secretary of State, Michael Adams, who said yesterday on X that he plans to let both Democrats and Republicans nominate a candidate for the House seat to be on the ballot in November. All this started when Kulkarni's opponent filed a lawsuit before the May primary claiming her campaign paperwork was filed improperly. But Kulkarni did end up on that ballot and then won. The case then went to Kentucky Supreme Court, which disqualified Kulkarni back in June. That decision was then upheld by the Supreme Court yesterday. Secretary Adams said he'll allow both parties to nominate a candidate and let the people decide. Kulkarni's attorney previously told WHAS 11 she plans to seek that nomination.
A special prosecutor has been appointed to investigate the citation issued against New Albany Mayor Jeff Gahan after he authorized emergency safety improvements at the Silver Creek Dam. According to the Indiana Department of Natural Resources, the Floyd County prosecutor has decided Otto Schalk from Harrison County will handle the case. The Indiana DNR and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers halted work on the dam earlier this month, saying Gahan didn't have permits to authorize the construction. Safety there became a major concern back in May after a teenager drowned over Memorial Day weekend.
So the new record-breaking country
That 18-pound Kentucky Country Ham sold for a record $10.5 million at this year's Country Ham Breakfast at the Kentucky State Fair. The winning bidder was Kelly Craft, who you might remember ran for governor last year. The money will go toward the Boys and Girls Club and to build homes in eastern Kentucky, which was hit by flooding in 2022.